The Mesoplodon whales are at 16 species and are the biggest genus not only of beaked whales but of the order Cetacea. Since we have a lot of species to cover, let's get into it.
The Mesoplodon or Andrew's beaked whale. The Andrew's beaked whale was first recorded on New Brighton Beach, New Zealand in 1904. It was described in 1908 by R.C. Andrews. They are only known from 35 strandings, rarely seen at sea, from the southern coast of Australia, Tasmania, and New Zealand. They can dive great depths under the water and be fully submerged for more than 45 minutes. The beaked whale, on average, weighs about 2,359 kilograms, or 2.6 tons for you American viewers. 2 to 4.7 meters, or 6.56 to 15.42 feet, though the males are bigger than the females. The adult males are covered with many long, toothy scars, probably inflicted by other males. Both males and females may have oval scars inflicted by cookie-cutter shark bite.
Mesoplodon bidens, or the Salisbury's beaked whale, or even the North Atlantic beaked whale, are found in deep, cold, temperate, and subarctic waters off the coast of New England and the mid-Atlantic, but also have been reported near pack ice. It is a small to medium-sized whale. Males of the species can reach lengths of 5.5 meters or 18 feet. Males have a pair of visible teeth that erupt from their lower jaw. Females can reach 5.1 meters or 17 feet. Adults from both sexes can weigh up to 1,300 kilograms or 1.4 tons, and calves are about 2.4 meters or 8 feet and can weigh about 170 kilograms or 375 pounds. Females and juveniles of the species also have teeth, but they remain hidden between their gum tissue. They can be distinguished by their very long, slender beak relative to other beak whales, as well as a bulge on their forehead area. The beak often emerges at a steep angle when surfacing. This beak whale species are usually found individually or in small, close associated groups averaging between 3 to 10 individuals. Regular dives range from 10 to 15 minutes, but dives of at least 28 minutes have been recorded, and they reach depths up to 1,500 meters or 4,920 feet. When surfacing, the species often tilts its head up out of the water at a 45-degree angle. Despite being the very first beaked whale ever discovered in the year 1804 by James Sorbury, they are extremely mysterious. The Mesoplodon bidens may reach sexual maturity at about 7 years of age, and their breeding seasons may be from late winter to spring. A sexually mature female will give birth to a single newborn calf. Their estimated lifespan is unknown. They are considered data deficient, meaning there is not enough information to make a definitive conclusion on their conservation status. The Mesoplodon hatula, or Dirigilis beaked whale, are one of the smaller beaked whales. Adults of this species can grow to be 4.8 meters or 16 feet. This entire species is only known from 7 dead whales that have been stranded on remote tropical islands in the Indian and Pacific Oceans over the past 50 years. A Sri Lankan scientist named Mr. Dirigilis first he recognized it as a new beaked whale in 1963 when a single female found stranded and dying on a beach near Colombo in Sri Lanka. Soon afterwards, it was wrongly grouped together with existing rare beaked whale species, the ginkgo beaked whale, and Sri Lanka named was dropped. Then, 51 years later, a genetic study carried out in 2014 confirmed that Denegrir's beaked whale is indeed a unique species, and the whale has regained its original name. The body is bluish-gray colored. The head is small and tapered inside the mouth. Denegrir's beaked whales have only one pair of large and unusually shaped tusk-like teeth. There does not appear to be numerous white tooth rake scars on the bodies that are commonly found on other beaked whales. It could be that the males do not fight over females using their teeth, as it's thought to be the case for other beaked whales. As of this recording, the Denegrir's beaked whale have not been studied in the wild. Scientists are unsure how many Denegrir's beaked whales exist. They have concluded they must be either very rare and or extremely elusive. Mesoplodon transversi, or the spade-toothed beaked whale, they have been found in New Zealand, Chile, and Chatham Island, and the species is thought to be found exclusively in the southern hemisphere and even possibly in the South Pacific. However, the full extent of their distribution remains unknown. Males of the species can grow to be lengths of 5 meters or 16 feet, while females grow slightly smaller to be 4.5 meters or 15 feet. The skull morphology of the sape-toothed beaked whale is rather similar to the strap-toothed beaked whale. It is assumed that they are medium-sized beaked whale species, with the males possessing 2 large tusks that erupt halfway along the upper jaw, which can measure to be up to 22 centimeters or 9 inches. They are named after their sape-shaped teeth. They are by far one of the rarest and least known of the beaked whale species. In fact, although early observations of the species were identified in the mid to late 18th century, it wasn't until 2012 that it was described. Due to previous observations, they were identified as belonging to the strap-toothed whale and Gray's beaked whale families until DNA testing confirmed that they were in fact a separate species of whale. This species has been captured on film in New Zealand, identifying these whales as having a grayish skin tone that varies from light to dark in color, with a dark-colored back, fins, flukes, and beak, as well as having dark coloring around their eyes, while the underbody appears to be lighter gray with white coloring. In July of 2024, a little over a year during this recording, scientists in Otago, New Zealand made a stunning discovery. An elusive saber-toothed beaked whale was washed up on shore. The whale had never been seen in the wild, and finding a recently deceased adult male meant that the first time scientists could examine the species, an animal around the size of an oversized dolphin that had successfully evaded humans for so much of human history. Mesoplodon grayi, also known as the Gray's beaked whale, are a circumpolar species of beaked whale of the southern hemisphere and are distributed in cold, temperate water. Sightings and strandings suggest the species is common in the Indian Ocean, south and east of Madagascar, off the coast of the Falkland Islands, New Zealand, and Western Australia. It is relatively commonly stranded beaked whale on southern Australian coasts. There is one record of this species from the northern hemisphere, a female stranded in the Netherlands, though it is believed that this animal was very, very lost. Gray's beaked whales are dark bluish-gray dorsally and paler below. Adult females may be slightly lighter dorsally than those of their male counterparts. Males, like many other beaked whales, are marked with tooth rake scars, probably inflicted by other males of the species. They have a long conical beak and the mouth. There is no notable bulge on the forehead, but the melon does bulge slightly just in front of the blowhole. Adult males possess a single set of tusks. Males are about 5.7 meters or 19 feet and can weigh to be 1,100 kilograms or 1 ton. Females of the species are slightly smaller, being 5.3 meters or 17 feet, and calves of this animal are about 2.1 meters or 7 feet. The Gray's beaked whale was described by a mass stranding event that involved 28 whales in the Cathan Islands off the coast of New Zealand in 1874. It was described in 1876 by von Haas and named it after a former director of the British Museum, John E. Gray, who had died a year before. Gray, during his lifetime, had described about 3 species of beaked whales, including the Hectors, the strap-tooth, and the saber-toothed beaked whale. Strandings in New Zealand and around southern Australia occur mostly during the summer and autumn, from December to April, suggesting there may be seasonal migration for calving. Animals are generally spotted in waters deeper than 2,000 meters or 7,000 feet, though they have been frequently seen in shallower waters. There is very little information on the conservation status of the Gray's beaked whale. Original sightings were so rare at a certain point that they were once thought to be close to extinction, but the increased number of reliable sightings suggests there is a larger number than initially believed. Mesoplodon europaeus, or the Grenavier's beaked whale, sometimes called the Aleutian beaked whale, the Gulf Stream beaked whale, or the European beaked whale. Females of the species are slightly larger than their male counterparts. Mature males can be distinguished from females and juveniles by a pair of visible teeth that erupt from the front position of their bottom jaw. Grenavier's beaked whales typically have slight or slightly curved jaw lines. Gurvi's beaked whales have a relatively small to medium body with a moderately long beak and a indistinct sloping forehead or melon. They have a small triangular wide base slightly hooked dorsal fin located far down the back. Adults of this species can grow to be 4 to 5 meters or 15 to 70 feet and can weigh about 1,198 kilograms or 2,640 pounds. Their lifespan is estimated to be at least 27 years, but may be up to 48 years. This species prefers deep tropical, subtropical, and warm temperate waters in the U.S. Atlantic coast and the Gulf of Mexico. They are also the most commonly spotted Mesoplodon species to strand on the U.S. southeastern Atlantic coast. Females may become sexually mature at 4 meters or 15 feet. A sexually mature female will give birth to a single newborn calf that is about 2 meters or 7 feet long and weigh about 80 kilograms or 176 pounds. Their coloring is dark gray or bluish to black with a paler vertical side. They tend to become darker as they age. Both females and males often have a pronounced dark patch around the eyes. Females and young males may also have a series of small, faint, wavy stripes down their center line of the back. Mature males may also have a linear scars from battles over females. However, scarring is generally not heavy in this species. They are considered data deficient, though they have been hunted in the Caribbean for food. Mesoplodon gigodens, or the ginkgo-toothed beaked whale, is known from 16 specimens that were found stranded on the coast of Japan, Taiwan, Sri Lanka, Indonesia, Australia, Southwest California, Mexico, and Ecuador. Very sparse data indicating that they are widely distributed in warm, temperate, and tropical waters of both the Indian and Pacific Ocean, with most records coming from Japan. Records from direct hunts and bycasts suggest that, as with other beaked whales, they live in areas of deep water. It was discovered in 1958 from an animal stranded on the beach near Tokyo by 2 Japanese scientists, Nishiwaki and Kamiya. The species is named after the shape of their tusks, looking similar to a ginkgo tree commonly found along the coastline of Japan. Adults of both sexes are about 5.3 meters or 17.39 feet long and weigh about 1,840 kilograms or 3.6 tons, while calves are about 2 meters or 6 feet long. They have significantly less scarring than other beaked whale species. This is either due to a lack of external teeth and or suggests that they are less aggressive. The coloration darkens immediately after death, making it hard to determine the color of living individuals, as there has never been a verified live sighting. However, it is believed that males are dark blue, black with white spots with blotches around the belly, whereas females are mid-gray with paler bellies than those found of males. Because of few wild encounters with the ginkgo-toothed beaked whale, it is difficult to determine the population trends to assess potential conservation needs. This species is listed as data deficient on the IUCN Red List of threatened species, meaning that they are not part of the United States Endangered Species Act. Mesoplodon hectori, or the Hector's beaked whale, or the New Zealand beaked whales, are also known as the skew beaked whale. Males and females of the species can grow to be 4.3 meters or 14.76 feet, and they weigh about 1,840 kilograms or 1,762 pounds. And juveniles of the species are about 2 meters long or 6 feet, making them one of the smallest members of the beaked whale family. The robust spindle-shaped body is dark gray with brownish on the upper side, and the belly is pale gray. The head of the Hector's beaked whale is quite unique, as they have a dark patch around their eyes. They also sport a crest-shaped blowhole, is found in pelagic ocean waters in the southern hemisphere, primarily in cold, temperate waters. The species was named in 1871 after James Hector, a curator of the Wellington Museum in New Zealand. Beached specimens have been found in Argentina, the Falkland Islands, South Africa, Chile, New Zealand, and Tasmania. These whales may undergo a slight seasonal migration to cooler waters during the summer months. They seem to prefer colder shelf edge of canyon habitats. They can dive to depths of 575 kilometers or 3.57 miles, though the average depth is about 3.5 kilometers or 2.17 miles. There has only been one confirmed sighting of the Hector's beaked whale off the coast of Western Australia. The Hector's beaked whale has an interbirth period of at least 3 to 4 years, giving it a relatively slow reproductive capacity. There is no information on the specific breeding season of the whale, but studies of other members of the genus suggest that breeding may occur between October to December. On average, there is only one offspring born. It is almost impossible to say anything definite about their behavior. However, unlike other beaked whales, it has been suggested that the Hector's beaked whales may be inquisitive around boats. If, however, this is normal behavior, then it seems strange that there have not been more sightings, giving rise to speculation on the Hector beaked whales may be naturally rare. Due to there being little information present, the status of the Hector's beaked whale is listed as data deficient. Mesoplodon muris, or the True's beaked whale, is a little-known member of the beaked whale family. They can be found in deep, warm, temperate waters of the North Atlantic Ocean, as well as at least 2 other areas in the southern hemisphere. They received their common name from Frederick W. True, a curator of the Smithsonian Institution, who described the species from an animal that stranded on the beach of North Carolina. They are relatively small to medium-sized body with a moderate short beak as well as a rounded sloping forehead, also known as a melon. Their coloration varies from gray to brown on the dorsal side with a pale ventral side. In the field, they are distinguished from Grevier's beaked whales, which are similar in appearance by their pale coloration across their melon and lack a dark behind the dorsal stripe. Though there appears to be a slight variation, as True's beaked whales in the southern hemisphere have more white coloration on their back, tail stalk, and underside than those in the northern hemisphere. Mature males can be distinguished from females and juveniles by a pair of teeth visible on the tip of their lower jaw. The mouth line is typically straight with a slight curve. Adult males of the species can grow to be 5.3 meters or 17 feet, while females are slightly larger at 5.4 meters or 18 feet, and females can weigh about 1,400 kilograms or 1.5 tons. Very little is known about their life and reproduction. Females generally give birth to a single calf that is about and weighs about 136 kilograms or 300 pounds. This species has only been identified a handful of times, and very little is known about their behavior. They have, however, been seen breaching repeatedly, and they have a tendency to break the surface of the water at an angle. As with other beaked whales, scratches and scars on stranded animals suggest competition between males. This species is considered data deficient by the International Union for Conservation of Nature list of threatened species, meaning that there is not enough information to assess their population status. Mesoplodon peruvianus, or the pygmy-beaked whale, was discovered in Peru in 1991 and is only known in Peruvian waters, although there have been 2 documented strandings on Mexican shores. The pygmy-beaked whale can be found in mid to deep sea waters. The upper side of the pygmy-beaked whale is uniformly dark gray, fading to light gray on the underside. The body is spindle-shaped. The short, dark-tipped beak precedes a narrow head. This species has 2 tiny teeth on the lower jaw. At birth, the pygmy-beaked whale is between 1.5 to 1.6 meters long, or 4 to 5 feet long, while adults of the species are between 3.4 to 3.7 meters, or 11.15 to 12.14 feet. The males of the species are larger than the females. This species of beaked whale is the smallest of the Mesoplodon genus. Confirmed sightings have always been found in pairs or small groups of only a few individuals. All recorded strandings have involved single individuals, though. Like other beaked whale species, they are thought to feed primarily on squids, although some smaller fish species and shrimp may also be taken. In a few instances, they have been accidentally caught in fishing nets. These attacks are rare. Humans are the only threat to the pygmy-beaked whale. This whale becomes tangled in fishing nets, which initially led to the discovery of this species. Despite several decades of scientific inquiry, our understanding of the pygmy-beaked whale remains limited, with only a handful of confirmed sightings and a mere 13 dead specimens available to study. Unlike some marine mammals that face significant pressure from hunting, habitat degradation, the pygmy-beaked whale appears to be relatively unaffected by anthropogenic impacts. However, despite the apparent lack of direct threats from human activities, the conservation status of the pygmy-beaked whale remains uncertain. The scarcity of data on population size, distribution, and trends hinders our ability to assess their conservation status. Only found in the northern Pacific Ocean, Mesoplodon perini, or the Perry's beaked whale, is known from 5 individuals, and 4 of which were found along the coast of Southern California within 85 kilometers, or 53 miles from each other, during the late 1970s. Although this suggests an eastern distribution within the northern Pacific, although they may migrate to tropical regions, the Perry's beaked whale has a small, thick body and dark gray on the dorsal side and fades into white on the underbelly, and a short beak with which the adult male has a single pair of large triangular teeth on the tip of their lower jaw, extending to slightly above their upper jaw. Males are about 3.9 meters or 13 feet long, and females, which are slightly longer, are about 4.4 meters or 14 feet long. The 2.1 meter or 6 feet specimen that researchers suspect that it was a calf of the adult female type specimen and that it was still dependent on their mother when she was stranded. With just 2 unconfirmed sightings, the Perry's beaked whale is closely related to another Pacific cetacean, the pygmy-beaked whale, and likely represent pygmy-beaked whale's northern hemisphere sister species. Standard specimens can be identified as this species by their DNA sequencing data and or anatomical details of the skull. The 2 adult type specimens were both sexually mature, and an analysis of the teeth indicate an approximate age of 9 years for both of them. The only known predator for the Perry's beaked whale are sharks and humans. Scars left by cookie-cutter sharks' bites were present on one type specimen, but they did not appear to have caused any lasting damage. Although Mesoplodon whales were never harvested commercially, there have been reports of them being taken by humans from time to time. According to the ICUN, this species has the potential to become caught in certain types of fishing gear, such as deep water gill nets used for capturing large pelagic fish species. Mesoplodon sengeri, or the Sengerese beaked whale, sometimes known as the Bering Sea beaked whale or the saber-toothed beaked whale. They received their common and scientific name from Leonhard Sergi, a naturalist and curator of the Smithsonian Institution, who first discovered this species from a single skull discovered on the Bering Island in 1885. The majority of information that is known about this species' biology and life history is a result of strandings which appeared to peak in both winter and spring months, primarily off the coasts of Japan and the Aleutian Islands. This species prefers cold, temperate, and subarctic waters. Both sexes are uniformly gray to black with a light pale countershading ventral, although males tend to be more uniformly dark. Sedger's beaked whales are usually found individually or in small, tight social groups, averaging between 5 and 15 individuals. These groups may contain animals of mixed sexes, ages, and life stages, or they can be segregated. Sedger's beaked whales usually make 5 to 6 shallow dives, followed up by a long dive that lasts 10 to 15 minutes, and most reach depths of 1,500 meters or 4,920 feet. While diving, they use suction to feed on small deep water fish, along with tunicates and cephalopods. Males of the species can grow to be about 5.7 meters or 19 feet, while females are slightly smaller and are about 5.5 meters or 18 feet and weigh about 1,600 kilograms or 2 tons. This species is sexually mature when they reach about 5 meters long or 14.8 feet. A sexually mature female will give birth to a single calf that is about 2.2 meters to 2.4 meters or 7.2 to 8 feet long, and they weigh about 79 kilograms or 175 pounds. Calving season is generally between spring and early autumn. Their lifespan is estimated to be at least 35 years old. They have a distribution throughout the North Pacific that includes California, the Aleutian Islands, the Southwest Bering Sea, Kaluka, the Ukasutsi, and the Sea of Japan. Acoustic detections indicate that the Sedger's beaked whale are present year-round in the northern Gulf of Alaska, with a peak in detections in the fall. NOAA Fisheries states that data are insufficient to estimate the population trends. Known for its unmistakable arch, where barnacles can be present in males, Mesoplodon denturostis, or the Belleville's beaked whale, sometimes known as the dense beak whale, coloration can vary from dark gray to brownish and bluish on top, and the face and underside of the animal is pale gray or white with a dark patch around the eye. The skin may appear wrinkled on the dorsal area and is covered with linear and oval-shaped scars, and other markings are common in what are believed to be adult males. Also, diatom infestations may discolor areas of the skin. Like adult individuals of this species can grow as long as 4.7 meters or 15 feet, and adult females can weigh 1,033 kilograms or 2,277 pounds. They start their lives out as being 20 meters or 6 to 8.5 feet long and weigh about 60 kilograms or 130 30 pounds. This species lives in tropical to temperate waters worldwide. The Boulevier's beaked whales are usually found individually or in small social groups averaging between 3 to 7 animals, but they have been occasionally seen in larger groups of up to 10 animals. Groups may consist of various combinations of age and sex and or be segregated depending on age or sex. Adult populations in productive waters over the continental shelf may be grouped in harems that consist of several adult females with a single adult male. Males commonly battle over access to these females, which is probably the cause of their long linear scars seen in individuals. Overall, the IUCN Red List classifies this whale as data deficient, meaning there is not enough data to conclude one way or another of their status, though they appear to be fairly common in most warm waters and are the most common of Mesoplodon.
Mesoplodon.Elevator.Pitches, or the strap-toothed beaked whale. The strap-like teeth of the males are positioned around halfway along the gape of the long, slender beak. As these teeth grow, they curve over the upper jaw.
This
May prevent them from opening their mouths more than a few centimeters. The teeth may reach about 30 centimeters in length. Most of the length of the tooth is exposed. The color patterns is also very distinctive. The beak and throat is white, and they have a black face mask that encloses their eyes and a white cape extending back from their blowhole. Behind this cape, there are dark blue-gray dorsal and on the
fluke.
In immature animals, this colorization is more even. The contrast between light and dark areas may not be as marked. Adult strap-toothed whales weigh between 907 and 2,721 kilograms and are 5 to 6.2 meters in length. Newborns tend to be 2.5 to 3 meters in length with an unknown weight. The strap-toothed whale is the largest species of Mesoplodon. Strap-toothed beaked whales inhabit cold temperate waters in the southern hemisphere and have been recorded around the coast of New Zealand, Australia, Tasmania, South Africa, Namibia, the Falkland Islands, Chile, Argentina, and Uruguay. Australian strandings have occurred mostly between December and March. Strap-toothed whales have been observed solely in female and calf pairs and in groups of up to 3 individuals. When approached by vessels, they have been observed to sink slowly or dive to one side, exposing their flipper, but not the flukes.
Dives last
10 to 15 minutes.
The whale can dive at depths of
2,000 meters or 6,561.68 feet. Strap-toothed beaked whales feed primarily on squid, about 24 species of oceanic squids, along with deep-sea fish. Strap-toothed whales breed once per year. Breeding apparently occurs during the summer,
where a single calf is produced.
Range of gestation period is 9 to 12 months. The exact lifespan of the strap-toothed beaked whale
is
unknown. However, members of other species in the genus are reported to have lived from 27 to 48 years.
According to the IUCN Red List, the strap-toothed beaked whale is listed as least concern.